Thomas Hobbes is a very controversial philosopher because he argued that human nature was one of war. I'm going to quote his famous book Leviathan here. The final cause and or design of men is the foresight of their own preservation and a more contented life thereby, that is to say, of getting themselves out of that miserable condition of war, which is necessarily consequent, as hath been shown, to the natural passions of men when there is no visible power to keep them in awe. Thus, his solution to this instability is to establish an autocratic leader that will maintain the order and control of the impulses of men. While his ideas are quite unpopular because people like to think of humans as free souls, I do have to agree with him at least a little bit about his point about humans needing stability and order. It's a sad point, but I think this is especially true for modern citizens. This is something I've noticed as I contemplate capitalism's effects on societies. While highly unequal, the rigid structures that systems like feudalism brought provided people with a sense of belonging, structure, and purpose. This is something the philosopher Byung-Chul Han has argued, that the removal of shared, symbolic rituals from our lives due to modernity's need for productivity has left people feeling empty. A modern specific example of humans suffering without order would be the rise of political extremism, especially nowadays the alt-right. As people were promised a system, a clear path of life that they do not find, they are left struggling without purpose. Thus, they search for online communities or simple explanations to provide them a scapegoat, a sense that is not their fault, therefore grounding them by alleviating pressure. However, the answer is not necessarily autocracy. An autocratic leader will not achieve order because power corrupts. Historically, it will become extreme inequalities, concentrated wealth, and mass sufferings. Let me know what your thoughts on this is, but I do think that our current way of extreme polarization and communal hostility is definitely triggering Hobbesian conceptions of human nature.